Hey guys, welcome back to Crazy Panda Predictions. This is Anime Talk again. My name's Joe, and today we're going to be playing some Doom in the background like last time, just because I don't know, it's relaxing for me to play the game while I chat about anime. Anyway, so let's just jump into it. We'll do, maybe I should mix up the game. No, let's stick with Team Deathmatch. Anyways, the point of the video. So the anime we're going to be talking about today is my favorite all-time anime of all time. It's Irrational, I suppose, just because it's like one of those high school, I was obsessed with it when I was in high school, and that show is Eureka 7. Obviously, you can tell by the fucking JPEG and title. Anyways, so let's just jump into it. The reason I love this show so much is it's pretty much what spawned my massive anime manga addiction. Like in the last episode of Anime Talk, I pretty much covered that I started watching anime when I was like 11, and it's all because of YTV's Bionics, and it's like Bionics slowly died off, and it just completely went off just because I guess it wasn't getting good enough ratings. Like they tried switching it from Friday to Saturday, but eventually it originally started with 8 hours of just non-stop anime, and then when it moved to Saturday, it went down to 6 hours, then 4 hours, then 2, and then it just completely gone, which just crushed me, because that was the thing I look forward to the most, and I don't know, that was also another negative for me, was just it moving from Friday to Saturday. Friday just had a better feel, I had worked, I went through school all week, and I was so excited to get home and just watch some anime, but then I'd have to wait an extra day. I don't know, it just took it out of me. But anyway, so, I still, watched it, anime, then, but it wasn't as frequent, because I didn't really have, a source to really start watching it anymore. So, about, I'd say, grade 11 is, I guess, I don't know, I was just, bored and stuff, and wasn't really digging high school that much. So, anyways, so I was I don't know why, but I randomly started remembering, what animes I used to watch. And then I remember, so I was going through this Bionics list, and then I found Eureka 7. So anyway, so I went into that, and then, I think I ended watching that series, at, episode 20. So that's where I started. I was like, well, whatever, I probably remember most of it. Not really. Well, I'm getting fucked up. Okay, I'm gonna have to get a kill. But anyways, so I came into episode 20, and one second. Ooh, demon. What? It's already over? Okay, obviously I'm gonna have to play another game because that's not fucking long enough. Shit. But anyways, so started watching from there, and it was just, oh my god, I was just hooked. I couldn't believe how fast it just pulled me in. It was ridiculous how fast that show just really grabbed my attention. Anyways, yeah, no, it was just amazing how fast it pulled me in. I was just hooked on the show. And if you haven't seen the show, it's all based around the it's a really highly mech kind of based show. So it's all about these things called LFOs, which are these. It's close kind of to Evangelion, where it's they're living creatures, and they have basically armor built around them. They're organisms, and they're known as anyways, they name them LFOs, and then it's all about this kid named Renton Thurston. Anyways, so they go through the series, and he's just this regular 14-year-old kid who he lives in this shitty fucking town, does nothing, and then one day a fucking LFO, the very first original, the Nirvaj, the main one on the red and white one, is just crashes into his roof when his grandpa and him are having a scuffle, and
wait a minute, what's that?
And that's when you get to meet Eureka. Anyways, and when I was I just remember just being so pulled in by this show. I just had to keep fucking watching this. It's 50 episodes long, and I've memorized every fucking scene just to give you a scope on how many times I've watched this. I've watched this 50 episodes, and I've watched this show 11 fucking times. I was just so obsessed with it. It was just such an amazing series, and if you haven't seen it, go fucking watch it. It is so good. The sequel sucks shit. It's just absolute. It's one of those like sequels where it's like you try to think like it never existed because it kind of ruins the story for you. It's still there, which kind of fucking sucks. I really wish they like. I was super excited to hear they were going to be making a sequel. It just, it was awful. Because in the series, like, there's these the planet's pretty much covered by this thing called like the subcorals, which is just an organism, and it's basically like it's kind of hard to explain. It's basically just like the ground around them. It just surrounds them everywhere. And then there's all these different like earthquakes that happen because of it, so they put spikes in the ground to basically like almost hold the planet down so that the spikes are almost like stitches to the ground so nothing really moves, so it stops these earthquakes. Anyways, and then it's a really hard series to get into. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to cover all of this, but and spoilers ahead, obviously, but you find out later in the show that Eureka is actually the very first human-based subcoral. Well, technically it's Corallian, but she's the very first one, and the whole point of it is these Corallians, they want to communicate with, humans, and that's why they sent her up. That's why they created her. So they want to communicate. They want to, coexist together. And she's like the lead pilot of the, the Nirvash, and that's why she's able, in the show, she's able to pretty much talk to the LFO. She can speak with Nirvash. She can relate with them more than she can relate with humans. And throughout the series, obviously, like, her and Renton, like, they start really liking each other. In the beginning, though, she's almost like a robot, right? She's like this blank piece of paper. She doesn't know emotion. She doesn't know anger, jealousy, fear. And as she, throughout the series, like, everyone leaves an impression on her, and then she starts to develop these feelings and these emotions. She starts growing as a character, and then she starts, around episode 25, like the one where I came in, is when she starts realizing that she's in, like, she needs Renton, and Renton goes after her. Yeah, like I said, I'm not really, like, there's 50 episodes, so it's hard to really explain the entire fucking thing in just, 15 minutes. And I don't want to make this, like, a giant fucking episode, but yeah, and, actually, I might just, this show, in general, like, it just made me, God damn, he fucked me up. Fuck! Anyways, this show, it pretty much inspired me to go, like, it just made me go nuts with anime. Because, like, I had watched it so many times, and then I was just like, well, I imagine there's more animes like this, and that's when I started this whole, like, just this giant quest where, like, I had seen, like, a few animes at this time, to the point where, like, my anime list now is almost at 100 days of my life has been committed to anime, and I haven't even registered the manga list, but yeah, no, so it started this obsession of anime and manga, because, in my opinion, like, it's just, I don't know what it is, them Japanese, they can storytell like you wouldn't believe. Like, I watch all these shows, like Western shows, and they're just not nearly as compelling or interesting. I can, like, marathon an anime, like, in one night, like a Western show. Like, it just gets boring after a while. Like, I don't know what it is. They're just amazing at storytelling, and I just couldn't get enough. Like, I think the next show I got onto was, like, fuck. I think I started basically with, like, all the beginning ones where, fuck, I can't even. Oh, no. Okay, so I became so obsessed with the show, so I went on this like this, this fiend of, like, buying stuff of their, like, so I bought the entire series, so all 50 episodes, then I bought the entire manga, then I bought I bought a few t-shirts of theirs, and then I bought the soundtracks. Like, I was obsessed with this show. It was so good to me, and I just couldn't stop watching it. Anyways, when I had done all that, then I started wondering if there were more, so I didn't search for them online. What I did was I found what the hell? Well, I think I watched a few series online, but I went to the website, like, Right Stuff, amazing website, and I saw that they had a deal pretty much where you can get, I think it's 250 Canadian dollars, and then there's no shipping. So I was like, well, fuck, I'll just spend 250 bucks. So I bought a bunch of random series, like just shot in the dark, just based on what I'd like heard. So I bought like Evangelion, Full Metal Alchemist. Well, I've seen Full Metal Alchemist at this point just because of Bionics, but Evangelion, all these different series, Gundam Seed, Ghost in the Shell, all these series, and I was like, okay, now I'll just go through this, and that's what happened. Like, I couldn't believe how entertaining all these series were, and then I just started binge watching them on like I think it's AnimeFreak.com. And then I went on JustDub, like I just could not get enough of it. And then I found the one that really obviously was a big game changer when I saw it was fucking Cowboy Bebop. Like I just can't get into enough how awesome it was. And it's weird too because I hadn't I think I'd been watching anime for almost 2 years before I found that show. Maybe less. Yeah, it might be less, but I was always nervous to get into that series just because the way I read it, it was like Cowboy, Bebop, and it just, to me, and the way the picture looked, it looked all dusty and stuff, and I was like, oh god, is this some kind of country, weird anime where it's, because I read Cowboy, and I was like, I don't really fucking give a shit about cowboys, and then I watched it, it's like, it is nothing like that, it's so much better, it's fucking space bounty hunters. I am getting fucking wrecked in this. This is starting to annoy me. But yeah, no, and that's, and it all began with Eureka 7. It was just, oh, that's the fucking love story, the way the Corallians are. And I love it too because you can go into the manga. Fuck you, guy. You can go into the manga and then you can jump into the anime, and they're about the same, about halfway through the manga and anime. Like the material's the same, and then halfway through they go on completely different paths, and they have completely different endings, but they're still so good, both of them. Like drastically different though, just amazingly different. But the anime's ending, good god, it was such a perfect ending. I could not believe how well they ended that series. It was, Eureka's trapped in this she's going to become the new I can't even fucking remember, but she basically goes into almost hibernation to stop the limit of questions, which is basically going to tear the universe apart, and she basically does this to save everyone, and then Renton says I'm not going to give you up for that, and then they kiss, and then they they think they're about to fuse, and just Renton's going to fuse with Eureka to save the world because he doesn't want to be away from her, and then Nirvash saves the day because she takes the role of Eureka, and then they both just go down to the planet, and it's pretty much the end of it. And you don't actually know if where they went because you don't really get a lot of back info to that, which is why I was so excited for the sequel so much. But yeah, no. Anyways, yeah, so I'm probably going to wrap this episode up here just because I don't want it to run for too long. I didn't get into a whole lot on the anime, but, that leaves up, more free time for me to talk about it because it is my favorite anime, and there's just so much to talk about, like Anemone, the Colonel, god damn, there's just Talho, the Gecko State for... For God's sakes, I barely... just so much to talk about. But anyways, so yeah, that's where I'm going to wrap this up. If you enjoyed anything I had to say, drop me a like or subscribe. That'd be awesome. And we'll catch you next time on Anime Talk.